why it's called After Hours, man. It's when all the magic happens. I was just joking with this girl that we need to come up with a name for the guys that are doing this 9 to 5 and dirtbag grind. Like, you know, like my big thing with the last year or two has been like, look, you know, dirtbag thing's got to go just because, you know, 95% of your money is coming from guys with 9 to 5s.
Yeah.
So
pretty much. Yeah, 100%. You're right. 90% of the money are coming from people with like actual jobs.
Right.
They're the ones buying. They're the ones buying.
That's why fishing's such a big deal right now. You know, like there's no squabbling over $50. You know, they get that people have to make money. Like, is it made in America? Awesome. Here's my credit card.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of those guys, you don't meet dirtbag fishermen.
Yeah, right. They know that they're in the market or not. They don't come limping in. You know.
A lot of those guys are like either successful somewhere in life. I've found out, you know, they're all like own their own businesses and they fish on the side and they've always had successful businesses. And then you meet a dirtbag paddler. He's seriously, I mean, barely limping along in a piece of shit like car, just trying to make it through to the next rodeo or next race or something and not be broken.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get Matt Hamilton on next and have a conversation about because he was there back in the day when there were like come to a trade show for an interview and get a contract and get a you know he lives in a house that he bought off sponsorship money. Can you even imagine that? You know,
there's a few of them that actually did it. You know, there's a few of them that actually like made a living. You look at like back in my day, you know, it was the Teo Berman and guys like that actually, you know, survived and lived off of sponsorships and, you know, the first like actual making money kayaking. It's odd. And nowadays I don't know really who's doing it. You look at someone like Dane, but I mean, dad owns a kayak factory.
Dane was born into it. By the way, I saw today, EJ posted a photo of the Dalmatian in the driver's seat of a brand new RV.
Yeah, I've seen that. The picture with the dog with his head through the steering wheel.
I was dying. That is a subtle nuance. You got to know what's up to laugh really hard on that.
Yeah, and you just know EJ was like when it got it on camera, he was like, yes. Because it was like, oh wow. So I mean, you've seen it everywhere, didn't you? It was just like on news. It was throughout everywhere, and it's probably still gonna turn up in a few spots years down the road.
Well, there was this really interesting conversation that I was listening to on the Joe Rogan podcast about, or some podcast about this idea of like ownership, right? Like so like. He didn't get to cash in and monetize on his own misfortune, right? Like that thing went everywhere, and people were redoing it for clicks and attention and stuff. He didn't get to cash in on it, or like Dane behind a wake boat, Benny and Rush at that Lions Bay slide.
Ditch, yeah. I tried to get on that, by the way.
I've heard it. There's like a homeowners association that gets really angry or something.
I couldn't convince my buddy to drive up. I was over in Washington, and I was like, come on, let's go to the ditch. He's like, I'm not wasting 12 hours of driving for that crap. And I'm like, you've done it, man. That's awesome. I want to do it. But anyway, yeah. But I mean,
but like that like go viral thing is basically like clearly internal sponsorship isn't enough to live on. The guys that are out there surviving are the ones who have external sponsorships. And there used to be a couple of venues, right? Like, you used to, at least at the very tail end, have, like, Teva and Subaru and Red Bull. And now it's just Red Bull standing alone. Yeah. And, like, Red Bull's just hoping that you get, like, one really good thing. So, like, Noria just put that thing out. It's got to be the one really big thing Noria's put out for Red Bull in her whole career, right? Yeah. So she just paid her rent for hopefully the next couple of years, and Red Bull will keep her on, right? But like at some point, in the same way that Adidas pulled the plug, and that was Adidas
was just wasting money, a money pit for those guys.
But they kept it for Peter and Nina Skanska out in Slovenia
because
Adidas is Gucci out there.
Yeah.
So, they're not dumb either, but it's interesting. So, yeah, I'm hoping to have that convo, and hopefully we'll get together once we've actually gotten a chance to look at some of the new swag coming out. And
yeah, we can talk gear next time. We can go on. I can go on about gear. I can bitch about gear and pro paddlers. We could talk about. I watched your one podcast on the sponsorships and all that. I got some insight that I could complain about and bitch and moan about on that too.
Right on. Maybe we'll do a couple and I'll splice them all together or something like that with a couple different perspectives answering the same questions. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, just anytime, man. It's fun. Just call me up. I'm always ready to complain or chat about something.
All right, I'm going to go see if they knocked back all the snow outside and I can get home. I'll catch you later, man.
All right, man. Good talking to you. Bye. All right, see ya.